Good evening, everyone. This is episode 6, chapter 5. Episode 6 of Nighttime Studies with Nick, and we are on chapter 5 of Six Months to Six Figures by Peter Voogd. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome, Samuel. Welcome, Jordan. I am going to be making these earlier, coming soon. So I think I'm going to back my time up to around 8 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. I'll let you know. So I'm not going to be doing these as late. Because I have a lot of friends on the East Coast, and they're in Eastern Standard Time. They're 2 hours ahead of me, and a lot of those are in bed. A lot of people are in bed at that time. Welcome, Dario. Sorry. Let me just get this pulled up. If you guys don't mind, please hit the share button. Share it to your groups if you could. Also, don't be afraid to hit them buttons. Hey, Rachel Johnson, thank you for sharing. It's pulled up here on my iPad. It's 11 East Coast. Yeah, I know. It's a little late. I'm like I said, I'm going to make these earlier. Hey, Elizabeth. 5 a.m. does come early, Samuel. And I want to get you on. Hey, Lenore. Samuel, I want to get you on here with me. So when I back up that time and start a little earlier, we can get you on here. What's up, Braulio? Welcome, everybody. Again, just kind of letting everybody get in here. Hey, Lenore. Letting everybody get in here, and then I'm going to start reading chapter 5. Everybody having a good... It's Tuesday, right? Pretty sure it's Tuesday. My days get mixed up. Let's see here. All right. Just kind of getting this shirt out. All right. Welcome, Holly. Hello, Marcy. I'm downloading all these live videos that I'm doing, which I'm going to have one every night for the next year, 365 days straight of this. This is my commitment to myself, to you guys, and I'm going to be reading a chapter out of a book every night, and then kind of discussing it, and then kind of going from there. I'll pull on a guest. For those that haven't watched this, or you're catching this on the replay, I'm putting all this on YouTube, so I will, at the end of this live, drop my link to my YouTube. If you guys could subscribe for me, that'd be great, and feel free to share it out. Welcome, Zachariah. So, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. If you guys don't know who Peter Voogd is, you can go check out his page. He does have a Facebook page. 6 Months to Six Figures. It's on Amazon. It's the #1 international bestseller, and it's a book that is absolutely fabulous if you're looking for a transformation in your life. Lenore says, it's been a while since I was able to watch. Got your invites, but couldn't make it. Glad you're committing to this for yourself. Thank you, Lenore. It's great to have you here. And also, she's also somebody worth following. She's a poet and some amazing stuff. She's an amazing lady. Another just fabulous friend I have in my circle. All you guys, my Facebook family, my social media family, along with those that I have in real life, physically in my life. It's just all around a lot of great people, and I'm very blessed for that. And I see a lot of new faces coming in and checking these videos out. I've got some great feedback and messages, and you're welcome, Lenore. And I really want to thank you guys for that, too. I wasn't sure how you guys would take to this, but apparently it's appreciated. So I thank you for that. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and jump into chapter 5. This is, I have pre-read this, and it is really a great chapter. Welcome, Michelle Wong. It's a fabulous chapter. Welcome, Brandy. So with that being said, let's get into it. Excuse me. Chapter 5 is Go Against the Grain. There is nobody like you, and once you realize that, your entire future changes. Before I deep dive into the core lessons, I want to remind you how unique and different you are. In a society where everyone is trying to fit in, I challenge you to embrace being different and stand out. The story of the human race is the story of men and women selling themselves short. I'm not being negative, I'm observing the reality. The average person settles for far less than he and she is capable of becoming. The truth is, we're all extraordinary. We came into this world with more talents and abilities than we could ever use. But our potential is only pulled out when we're focused on our strengths and when we stay true to who we really are. The most successful people of the world has ever seen have built legacies staying true to themselves. Joey Williams, Nobel Peace Prize winner, was asked what her key to success was, and her answer was simply, stay true to yourself. See, simple but powerful. How do you stay true to yourself when you're surrounded by friends and or family members who have an opinion on everything? You do, who consistently offer their opinion, whether you ask for it or not, and who seem to imply they know better. It's not easy. However, if you're going to lead the life you really want, you're bound to run into a few people who just won't or can't understand where you're coming from. I'm a firm believer in mirroring the successful and doing what already works. One of the many reasons our society is struggling is because people are taking advice from those who don't practice what they preach. We learn so much from what we hear, so be a selective listener. One of my mentors, Isaac Tolpin, taught me this when I was 23 years old. Take very few opinions. The advice has served me extremely well. Start listening to voices of value and to those who have the experience, ideas, and the reputation you're striving to emulate. Listen to people you would trade places with, and listen to people who have already experienced the success you're aiming for. Have you ever experienced or seen any of these as situations? They always rub me the wrong way. Broke people and those in debt giving money advice. Those overweight giving health advice. Those who hate what they do giving career or business advice. Divorced people giving marriage advice. Might work if they tell you what not to do. Coaches who haven't actually gotten results giving advice on how to get results. Parents promoting what they learned 30 years ago and not adapting to the new economy. Business professionals telling students to go into debt as the first step to building a business. I've grown up trying to fit in because I thought that's what we were supposed to do. You get reprimanded and disciplined if you speak up, act out, or try to be different in school. Well, in entrepreneurship and business, it's a great way to separate yourself from the herd. When I say go against the grain, I mean stand out versus fit in. And instead of comparing yourself to others, differentiate yourself from others. Earl Nightingale was one of the first business philosophers of our time, and he said something that I'll never forget. If you really want success, you don't have any mentors or guidance. You can get a head start by looking at what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. Again, if you truly want success and you don't have any mentors or guidance, you can get a head start by looking at what everybody else is doing and do the opposite. This is the foundation for how I live my life, and it should be for you too. It is strange advice for those not familiar, but a real game changer. It's also a great strategy for those who are serious about improving their life, business, and overall happiness. The more people do something, the less valuable it is. When I say I mirror the successful, I mean I only mirror those with the results and lifestyle I want. If you want the normal life with the normal income, normal problems, and normal experiences, this book is not for you. Let's deal in reality. Most people overeat and eat based on pleasure versus health. Most people don't have enough energy to go after their dreams and goals. Most people sleep in and have no morning routine. Most people make excuses instead of progress. Most people focus on the negative versus the positive. Most people spend more money than they make. Most people talk about success versus action. Most people go to college, go into debt, and get an unrelated job afterwards. Most people pray for weekends and hate Mondays. Most people sell themselves short. Most people associate people with who let them off the hook versus hold them accountable. Hey, Melissa, welcome. Don't be like most people. I know deep down no one wants to be the typical or average, and everyone wants to be special and different. Here's the problem. We all do the same things over and over. The majority of us live like one another and then wonder why we continually fail to achieve any real results or success in our lives. We follow each other's lead and rarely break the mold. Your life will become much more convenient when you take this seriously. All the greats in our society lived life to their own choosing, not other people's. One way to be outstanding and become more valuable is to do what others are unwilling to do. I'd rather go broke building my dreams than just get by living somebody else's. When I was at rock bottom and felt like I had no way out, I realized that most people would have quit, which is the exact reason I didn't. I often think, what would the majority do? I then continue doing the opposite because I don't want to end up like the majority. Here is an insert from the best-selling book, The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco, that explains normal perfectly. Normal is waking at 6 a.m., fighting traffic, working 8 hours. Normal is a slave at a job Monday through Friday, save 10% and repeat for 50 years. Normal is to buy everything on credit. Normal is to believe the illusion that the stock market will make you rich. Normal is to believe that a faster car and a bigger house will make you happy. You're conditioned to accept normal based on the society's already corrupted definition of wealth, and because of it, normal itself is corrupted. Normal is a modern-day slavery. Don't be normal. Figure out what makes you different and unique. How you differentiate yourself from everybody else. How can you differentiate yourself from everybody else? I can assure you there is something different about you, but it's your obligation and duty to find it. One of the most important questions you can ask in business is, why should someone do business with you versus any other option available to them, including nothing? It's time to get serious about who you are, where you want to go, and understand that an amazing life is available to you if you start thinking and acting differently than most people. I'm guessing you're reading this book because you want some or all of the following: increased income, more freedom, new experiences, richer lifestyle, best way to raise your family, grander view on life. It's one thing to say you're different, but it's another to think, act, and actually live different. Most people are struggling. MBAs are selling shoes during the day and waiting tables at night. College grads are pouring coffee and living at a home until they're 29. Retirement age has morphed from 65 to 6 feet under, till death does unemployment part. Yet we have people who are only 19 in our Game Changers Academy who love what they do and are on track to retire by the age of 30. It's because they are doing things differently and have escaped the herd. I'd strongly suggest you do the same. So that is chapter 5 of 6 Months to Six Figures by Peter Voogd, and it's a very powerful chapter, I think. So if you're new to the show, first of all, I encourage you to share this out. From the first episode on, you can go back and listen to me read these books, but now I'm just going to talk a little bit about what stood out to me. Obviously, I'm not Peter Voogd. I'm not at Peter Voogd's level, so I'm not going to pretend to but what I can do is relate it to where, identify mistakes that I've made in the past and how I'm changing that to go forward, and what I am implementing from what I'm bringing in his book, and also what resonates with me and what inspires me out of this. So that's what I do after I get done reading, and then I'm going to pull somebody on and we'll let them do the same. So be thinking, if you want to come on the show, just let me know, and comment in there, and I'll pull you on. Thank you, Lenore. Thank you for everybody who shared. What's up, Robert C. Stern? Let me see who's all on here before I go any further. Give some shout-outs here. DJ Navigator, what's up, man? Christina Scullin, thanks for stopping in. Chris Forbush, what's up, brother? Samuel Page Fedderson, what's up, cuz? John Mora. Sorry, John. John Moneth. Crystal, thanks for stopping in. Melissa Hayes, appreciate you. Rob Swade. Misty Franklin, thank you, everybody, for coming. Michelle. All right. So let's get into this, okay? Hey, Jackie Davis. I highlighted a lot in this chapter, to be honest with you. I mean, I could really just sit there and read the book over and over and over. I really love this book. It's a really easy read. And Peter Voogd's fire, absolutely. You're welcome, man. So the first highlight I have, obviously, is the chapter title says, Go Against the Grain. Simple enough, right? But very powerful. There is nobody like you. And once you realize that, your entire future changes. I kind of already knew since I was a kid that I just felt a little different than what I saw how everybody else operating. Like the whole being raised Catholic, I didn't mold. I was an altar boy, and I didn't feel right. It didn't feel like me, and I was just so I was trying to go left, but everybody's nope, go this way. Right here, trying to be fit in that box. And And it kind of continued into my adulthood. I couldn't figure out, obviously, how to run my life. To be quite simple, I was reacting to everything around me. So what do? That's when, even in high school, I got into drugs and partying. So, because I couldn't identify with who I was, so I was living a miserable existence because I wasn't living, kind of on my purpose. But anyway, when I realized that it's okay to be different and it's okay to go follow your heart, and if it's a thought that comes into you, I mean, it's a thought that's, first of all, probably already been thought, because we have, I believe, the collective conscious, but go with it. Be true to yourself, staying in your truth. Awesome. Yeah, I was an altar boy. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't a very good altar boy. When I was, I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. Well, Father Lou and Father Bryant. But this is a true story. True story. I would sneak out when everybody's getting ready for Mass. I'd sneak out, go to the next building, called it the parish hall, and I would go to the refrigerator and I'd drink some wine, and then I'd go back to church, and then I'd be an altar boy for church. That was bad, but that was me as a kid. I mean, I just being real. So I liked drinking the wine at church. It was about the only thing I liked about church. My dad was, we had catechism, and my dad was our teacher, and me and Bill Latin, shout out to Bill Latin, United States, he's in the Marine Corps now, but me and him we were always kneeling on pencils. Always kneeling on pencils. We didn't listen. We didn't care to be there. We were just having fun. My dad made us kneel on pencils. That was not fun. Not a great way to get me to like church and like catechism. I'm just saying. Recommendation, don't make any kids kneel on pencils. Next highlight I have, in a society where everyone is trying to fit in, I challenge you to embrace being different and stand out. That ties back to what we've kind of been talking about. That's powerful, though. Like, I think that's pushing your comfort zone a little bit, you know what I mean? Being willing to stand out there and be you and not worrying about what anybody else thinks, and following your heart, following your own guidance system, and being in tune with yourself. Like, I do a lot of meditating. I just got done meditating, actually, and I can't, like, if I go a day or two without meditation, I'm back to I don't know, I don't like myself as much then. So meditation's awesome for me, but then I'm not so worried about what other people think, because I'm more in tune with myself. I'm in alignment. Being in alignment is a wonderful thing, and when I'm not in alignment, I'm kind of a crazy guy. I can get whack up here a little bit, meaning I beat myself up. What's up, Heidi Wickham? But anyway, I'll continue on. Our potential is only pulled out when we're focused on our strengths and when we stay true to who we really are. I think that about knowing who we are, and then following our heart, kind of following our desires. My emotions are my indicators. When I'm feeling good, I think I'm making the right choices. I'm in the right spot. When I feel like hits of negative or anxiety or something doesn't feel right, that's me telling, I believe my guidance systems tell me, no, this is not right for you. And I actually experienced that here recently. So just to full disclosure, I haven't been working a job past since July. I've just been working to build my business, right? But I got to sustain, so I'm actually going to go get a part-time. I'm actually going to go sell cell phones at Verizon part-time, just to, kind of help sustain so I can continue building and get to where I want to go. But funny, I dropped my resume to a couple places, and I got offered all three, but the one I declined, and she asked why, and I didn't want to say, because of the energy. It just didn't feel right. When I got that offer, I felt worse than before, it wasn't right for me, but I couldn't explain that to her. So what I just simply said, it just, the scheduling, all that wasn't for me, right? But being able to make a decision, knowing what is true to me and what isn't, and making choices based off of that is really helping me. I never used to be able to do that. I wasn't very emotionally intelligent. Welcome, Ashley Grant. But it's really great to be able to make smarter choices and feel good about the choices I make rather than regret choices. I have the ability today to make a choice and not regret it. That feels great. I can't remember, it was years. I was so indecisive with decisions, so I just did 90% of the time the wrong decision. But So the next highlighted sentence I got is, one of the many reasons our society is struggling is people are taking advice from those who don't practice what they preach. I got to be honest, like, I suppose I could fall into this a little bit. Like, I'm not perfect, but I fully try to implement everything I'm learning. I don't know that it's fully possible to be perfect. Obviously, it's not possible to be perfect. Let's get real. But being true to who you are and not just like, I'm just very leery who I take advice from. So I'm very careful about the advice I'm giving because I don't want to be one of those guys, right? I don't want to be one of those guys that is keeping secrets or hiding this and trying to hustle up for a $50 bill for a little advice. I don't want to be that guy, and I damn sure don't like want others to do that to me. So like, I try to really, really practice what I preach. And if I'm wrong and I have a friend point it out to me, I'm humble enough to accept the fact that I could have been wrong there, and that's a learning opportunity. Shout out to Lindsay Cohen. We go through this a little bit. We kind of butt heads a little bit on some of our political things. And let's just say I can say too much at times. And like, I catch myself, but then I can admit I'm wrong. Like, I take accountability for everything I say and do today. And I never used to be able to do that. And I think, you can tell when a person's real or not. When I was co-hosting a podcast, Work Your Money podcast with Michelle Wong, and we were interviewing this couple there. They wrote their book on finances, and he said when he was first looking for a mentor or coach, he would ask him, one of the first questions he would ask them, good evening, Charles, was, are you financially free, and do you need me as a client? Are you financially free, and do you need me as a client? So those two questions and then so you got to know what you want, you got to know what you need, I think, and then go find that in the people around you. And I have blessed with a lot of people that I can seek advice from that I know are going to lead me in the right direction. But I tell you what, I don't just not ignore I don't just not take people's advice like I need, because if I just do it all I need help. Like, I have sounding boards for all you that talk to me, this. Like, I pass a lot of stuff back and forth between people I trust because I'm still learning to, I guess it's kind of like getting reassurance. I'm still kind of in that stage in my development to where I want to really make sure, because I'd rather not, we read it in the previous chapter, I'd rather not make the mistake if I don't have to. I understand we learn from mistakes, but I just do not. And I know, like, there are people that can lead you down the right path if you're not careful. They can sound like they know what they're talking about, when truthfully, and I've experienced this myself, they may sound like they know what they're talking about, but really, look at their life, first of all, a lot of lies, but that could drag you in the wrong direction, pull you off your path. So you really want to be careful who you take advice from. And the next highlight I got is, start listening to voices of value and to those who have the experience, ideas, and the reputation you're striving to emulate. It speaks for itself. Lenore said, shared with a few more. Nick is full of good discussion. Thank you, Lenore. You're sweet. I am going to catch up on some of these comments real quick because I see some coming through. Sorry, guys, I'll include you more here. Lenore says, I'm a psychologist, and I resonate with Carl Jung's collective unconscious. Laugh out loud about your stories. I've actually never heard of Carl Jung. I might have to message you about him. What's up, Jamie McCormick? Welcome. Good evening, Heidi. Real shit, Elizabeth says. Thanks, Elizabeth. What's up, Carla? Amy Grant, thank you for sharing and being authentic. You're most welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Samuel Sneed says, intuition is powerful. There are two choices, poor and powerful. You nailed it. Thank you, sir. Samuel also says, practice what you preach is simply true authenticity. Be yourself. You're doing great, brother. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you for sharing, Virginia. And yeah, guys, Charles Stecker, he wrote a book. He actually is shipping it to me, and I'm going to read it. And I'm going to read it as the next book on this show. So, Charles Stecker. All right, I'm going to continue on. So, and who wants to jump on here with me? Comment if you want to jump on here with me, and I'll pull you on here. Robert says, I'm singing to my cat using Simon and Garfunkel music while I listen. Works for me. All right. Then I've grown up I've grown up trying to fit in because I thought that's what we were supposed to do. I'm going to take this all the way back to, I got at 8, so 5th grade, right? 4th grade, my friends, I'm not going to name their names, but there was 4 of us. We ran as a crew in this small town, right? And I remember one of them got a beer, and they were like, you want to drink? You want to drink? And I was always the one who said no because I was an athlete and I didn't want to mess up my body. I didn't drink soda as a kid. I just didn't want to break my bones. I just wanted to be good at my sports, right? And so I said, no. But my junior high year, the older kids would pick on me. They would hang my bike from the flagpoles of the courthouse. They would just take it and hide it all the time. And they were just constantly messing with me. Corner me into the classroom and give me a wedgie. And one of my friends, Josh, he would kind of tell them to stop. But just like juniors and seniors, and in our high school, in our school, the junior high and the high school was in the same building. And it's a really small town, right? So get out of 8th grade, my 2 older sisters take me to this party, the first party in the summer, and I cracked my first beer, drank it. Next thing you know, all those guys are my best friends. I still like some of them today, but the point is that took me off my path because I felt like I had to fit in. I needed these guys on my side. So what did I do? I went to what they were doing. Bad thing. That's when I started into drugs. That's when I started, completely fucking off, to be truthful. I still excelled at sports. I got a few honors, and I did well. I've lettered in 4 different sports, and I started football from freshman year all the way through. I did well, but I was on drugs and I was partying all the time. And Holly remembers me back then. Probably she called me a bad boy. But I did well enough, and I passed my classes. But I tell you what, once I graduated high school, it was, and then the Navy recruiter came and saved me, but that's a later story. Point is, I was on my path. I was not afraid to say no, and I knew what I was going for. I was narrow-minded. I was focused at what I wanted. And as a kid, I knew some of the stuff that is teaching in the book as a child, and I was never taught it. I think we come here knowing some of it, to be honest with you. But and then I did what everybody else was doing. I had to fit in. So don't fit in. Instead of comparing yourself to others, differentiate yourself from others. We obviously get into comparing ourselves, we're really going to kill our dreams. We all have our own time. This was a struggle for me at first. When I first started building my business, everybody around me they're financially free, and I'm trying to learn things. I'm like, but I'm not you. I don't have that attraction. What do I do? And what I did was I just started interacting with more people, building relationships, and then just seeing how I could bring value to those around me. And it's kind of just blossomed from there. I'm going to get over to this. How much time we got? Okay, we got plenty of time. This is the part that it kind of brought some emotion to me when I read this the first time. I'm just going to read, because I have 3/4 of this highlighted. I'm just going to read this, and then I'm going to talk about why it sparks emotion in me. You said this is the number one problem with my clients. They all feel the need to compare themselves to others. Yeah, so I'm going to pause there. When I look, I have my goals, right? I want to be X, right? And let's look at our role models. Let's look at Grant Cardone, okay? I want to be like Grant Cardone. So I'm going to watch what he does. I'm going to learn what he does because I want to become him, right? But if I get into comparing myself to Grant Cardone, I'm going to feel pretty goddamn inferior about myself. And you can do that with anybody around you. I would do that to myself. I would lower myself because I would compare myself, and that's a terrible thing to do. Compete. My old boss used to say, don't compare, compete, but I don't believe in competing with others either. I believe in competing with myself, or just living to the best of my ability with what I have, and every day, and that's success to me. So I'm going to read this. Don't be like most people. I know deep down no one wants to be typical or average, and everyone wants to be special and different. Here's the problem. We all do the same things over and over. The majority of us live like one another and then wonder why we continually fail to achieve any real results or success in our lives. We follow each other's lead and rarely break the mold. Your life will become much more convenient when you take this seriously. All the greats in our society lived life to their own choosing, not other people's. One way to be outstanding and become more valuable is to do what others are unwilling to do. I'd rather go broke building my dreams than just getting by living somebody else's. When I was at rock bottom and I felt I had no way out, I realized that most people would have quit, which is the exact reason I didn't. I often think, what would the majority do? I then continue doing the opposite because I don't want to end up like the majority. And I remember, it was about, I keep mentioning this time frame, but really 2-ish years ago, when I was at my rock bottom this time, I remember saying to myself, there is no way out of this. Like, I was completely overwhelmed. Like, it felt like the earth had caved in on me and I was trapped just waiting to escape. What's up, Dan? And then I had a savior come in, an angel come in and help me out of that. But what kept me going through all those ups and downs, that I had never been through divorce. I didn't have any money for a lawyer. I wasn't seeing my kids because I only had Wednesday off and they were in school. And I was working almost 7 days a week. And I was stuck in that I had to do this for their future. And I think it was all part of what I was supposed to go through. But one thing I kept doing when I was working and working, sacrificing, Scott would tell me, short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, man. You'll get your kids later, make it happen now. And I didn't know. I was fighting a little bit. Is that for him, or is that truly for me? Does he really care about me, or is this all about him? I still was fighting that victim mindset. And I just kept accepting them. Like, then I would have a great day, and a customer would impact my life that day. When going through the short 5-minute presentation with them, and we get off talking about, because I will go, if a customer wants to talk, they're going to talk. I'm going to let them talk, and then we're going to go down that avenue. And I just started listening to people because you have to. But what I found from that was not only impacting my results for sales, but it was impacting me as a person and my personal growth. My customers, when I was going through that, was way more impactful to me than almost anything else. It was just incredible. And that made me not quit. Those people that I just kept meeting, and it would be another one. It was like the universe just kept sending me people at the right time. I had a 28 days in a row with a sale, and what we were doing, that was pretty good. I could be off on my number there, but I'm pretty sure. And one day I had 5 people at one time, and then that was the office record was 6, and it was phenomenal, right? And then there were days where it was the worst. Like, I couldn't even look at somebody, let alone pitch them out of the aisle. If you don't know, I stood in Walmart and pitched everybody that walked by us. Everybody that walked by us. We didn't let anybody skip. And then I would train other reps to do that. So going through this divorce and separation early on, it was really a struggle to stay committed to that, putting that much energy inside those stores, into the sales reps, into work. Well, I had all this weight of my kids over here, and my ex that was just coming after me with everything she could, and just overbearing, right? What kept me going was my long-term vision. And telling myself, I told myself, I know if I can get out of this, I can do anything. And I know with what I have that I can help other people do the same damn thing, because I never wish anybody to be down here at this level. That's what I was thinking when something clicked. And then I remembered to the 1998 movie Pay It Forward. And then I thought of, let's make it happen. It starts with me. Shit just not going to come to me. It starts with me. I got to go get it. I got to go do it. And that's when I started the whole helping other people, and seeing the results of that. And it just kind of started accumulating into, really, I call it a fast track transformation. Like, it really has been. And but I said, last June, I said, I got to do something different. I was getting like 10 to 20% of my paycheck total. And I was killing it. Like I was high as number 2 in the nation. I was number 1 in the office many times. And like I was getting shit out of my paycheck. And I said, there's got to be another fucking way. I am paying my own way to work. I can barely freaking live on this shit. And I don't even like what I'm doing. I would rather not take orders from people. I mean, I loved I was working business sales. I loved that aspect of it, but I didn't like answering to somebody else's bullshit. And I know how much money they're making compared to how much money I was just like ready to not work for somebody else. I was ready to make it happen for myself. And then Katie came in and offered me an opportunity. I jumped right on it. I said, this is what I've been waiting for. I jumped right on it. And and I didn't see immediate success. I did not see immediate success. And I'm like, what the WTF? I have never walked into something and not just smashed it right away. What the hell? And I was ready to bail. Katie's my best friend. One of my best friends, we grew up together. She's like family. And she brought me into this, and I got to thinking loyalty. Like, I committed this to her. She gave me a vehicle to get me out of this shit. It was like the universe came yet. How am I going to explain this to her that I'm just going to give up? I'm not used to not succeeding. Instead, I fought through it, and I took it as an opportunity. I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. I needed to not have immediate success because I needed to do more work. I needed to dig deeper. I needed to learn more. I needed to do more, and I had to experience it to find that out. That's what kept me going, and that's what has me going today. And since then, I've made a couple other commitments. I've got a couple other projects going on that would not be happening had I given up at that time. I almost did. I almost veered off one time. 2 weeks later, somebody had told me, I was indecisive about one thing, and somebody had told me, they said, which is harder, X or Z? And I said, well, X is. Then go with that one. And I sat back, I'm like, damn. And so I came back, I recommitted. Once I recommitted, things started clicking. The power of a decision, the power of a choice, and the stop the negative self-talk. I made that commitment. I'm going to work this. I'm going to make it work. And it's going to work. I'm going to hit my goals, right? Right away, things started happening. Right away. All I had to do was make that choice and that commitment. The issue wasn't the business. The issue wasn't the product. The issue wasn't any of that shit. The issue wasn't the system. It wasn't the system. It was this guy. It was me. I was the issue. I had to be accountable for what was I doing wrong. And I found out I was doing a lot wrong. And I started learning more. I took, a couple courses, read a couple books, got more into the meditation. I started doing different things. And past 8 months now is really like, wow. And so I didn't quit. I kept going. And I'm putting a book together. Like, there's some other things that are like, the power of not quitting, the power of making that, I can make it through this. I can. Affirmations in the mirror. Gratitude list in the morning. Sending love to somebody that may be bothering you or have a resentment towards, or praying for those who have been weighing us down. That if there's somebody, just little things like that I started doing, like getting rid of the shit, clearing it out so I could think clearly, so I could, help people. And I was just trying to sell something back then. And when I changed it to and I've been in sales, I know the concept of helping people, but I wasn't truly inside doing that. My intent was to make money. My intent wasn't, but when I shifted that and I started, I knew this stuff, but when I really started feeling and approaching it differently, that's when the shift happened. Lenore says, you can DM when you have time. We can chat about Carl Jung's work. Here's a link that shows some brief points about him and the collective conscious. I have to catch up with you later. Good night, Lenore. Thank you, my friend. We'll be in touch. And it was the best decision I ever made was not to quit, and to be able to be thankful that I didn't succeed right away, that I didn't walk in and just get the results that I expected, that I'm used to. It was a blessing in disguise. I learned so much. And so I'm thankful for that. And that just shows you finding gratitude in anything. Everything has a message in it. Find the message. Find it. Like, you put yourself there anyway. Normal is modern day slavery. Don't be normal. You've heard this phrase, get weird. Like, I'm adjusting to that. Like, I went, like, being on live, I'm getting more comfortable, which I'll expand that because I don't want to be comfortable, but more comfortable talking to you guys on live. Do you know how hard it was for me to look in a phone and have a conversation with myself? Like, it was really uncomfortable. And I had been, I had a show with, I feel like I'm repeating myself, with Chris Wisk for 4 months, 5 days a week. But having a somebody right beside you and just being on your own, it's totally different. But I'm enjoying this, and I encourage more people to go live. Share your stories. Get an idea and do a show. You'll have fun with it. Holly says, best live video you have ever done. I'm so proud of you, Nick. Thank you, Holly. Let's see what else I got. It's one thing to say you're different, but it's another to think, act, and actually live different, And going back to what he talked about in the earlier chapters was, knowledge versus applied knowledge. Applied knowledge is where the power's at. You must be it, not just know it. You must be it. You must live it. Elizabeth says you can't look them in the eyes and make them feel awkward on live. I know. That's what's terrible. Like, I love locking eyes with people. In person is so... For all of you that are going to meet me, there are a lot of you that's going to meet me in real life that haven't. Welcome, Stacey Ray. So I'm gonna touch on, for all of you that just joined. This is tonight was chapter 5 of 6 months, 6 figures by Peter Voogd. My show, Nighttime Studies with Nick, I do upload to YouTube as well. I'm going to drop a link in that. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be great. And I'm going to have a next book after this. My goal, and I'm going to be getting in touch with him soon, is to have Peter Voogd come on a live with me and talk about his book with you guys. I think that'd be really awesome. And you can also watch me manifest that right to you guys, because I have not asked him. But I'm very confident that he'll appreciate all of you that are out there purchasing his books, which I have the messages of you guys just telling me you're purchased his book, and that you're showing it to your coworkers or your employees in your business. That's really phenomenal. I truly appreciate it. I think that's neat. But this book will transform some lives. So if you know anybody that needs their life transformed, send them my way. Watch this video, but also get this book. So who wants to jump on here with me? Last highlight I got is, till death does unemployment part. Don't be the same person at 65 as you are at 35. Make a commitment to yourself that you will do whatever the hell within your set of principles to do what you want to do in life. You have a purpose here. How you know if you're following that purpose literally is following your guidance system. That's your emotions, guys, but you got to do the work. Reach out to somebody a Reiki master, reach out to somebody, a mentor, and get it done. So that was chapter 5. I really love this book. I'm enjoying this with you guys. I am going to pull somebody on to chat with me for the last 20 minutes. All you guys are shy. Really? Why are you guys so shy? Who's a volunteer? Let's get somebody on here. Welcome, Nicole Barnum, Brenda, Brittany, Dan Keller. Dan, you want to come on here with me? Are you still? I don't even know if you're still here. Do you want to come on here with me? Robert Brooker, you want to come on here with me? All right, Robert, we'll put you on. Robert Brooker's going to hop on with me. Let's see. I can't invite you, Robert. It's not letting me invite you. Anybody else want to come on? Are you on a mobile device? Oh, gotcha. Putting your son to sleep. Let's see here. I'm just going to send an invite, and somebody's going to hop on here. I have faith. Rats on a mobile. Well, if you're on mobile, just tilt your phone sideways, and I should be able to send you the invite. Yeah, if you're on mobile, do you have the app? If you have the app and you turn your phone sideways, you should be able to get on. Most certainly. Welcome, Christina. So, what do you guys think of the chapter? Comment your thoughts. If you don't want to hop on, you can at least comment your thoughts. Got any questions for me personally? Anything you want to know about me? As I'm going to be coming to you live every night. This is getting to know me time. Ask me anything you want. I'm an open book. Let me get some. Good evening, Andre. Welcome. Andre, do you want to hop on here with me? I assume, I'm pretty sure you've read this book, right, Andre? Let me know if you want to hop on here. Landscape, Robert. If you can get on here, we'll get you on here, Robert. But landscape, for sure. Because I upload these to YouTube. So I want to tilt my phone sideways so it fits the screen on YouTube. Virginia said, honestly, I liked your story more than the book. Oh, thank you. Well, you'll be getting to know a lot more of me because I'm going to be sharing my story as it relates to what we're reading in the book. I think it's a really neat concept. And it gives you guys some good insight on me as to who I am, where I came from, and where I'm going, and what I plan to do for you guys. So, landscape now. Okay, let me see if it brings you up. It says cannot bring Robin on camera. I don't know what the deal is. Half of you are like that, to be honest with you. The only ones I can bring on are Heidi, Virginia, Eve, and Euphemia. Absolutely, Justin. Absolutely, I can send you a list of books I highly recommend. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. How to Win Friends and Influence People by... help me out, guys. God, my... Wow, brain fart. How to Win Friends... please somebody comment the author's name. Wow. How did I forget the author's name? Carnegie. Dale Carnegie. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that's another good one. There's also so many good books, but I'll list you the ones that... Thank you, yeah, Dale Carnegie. Peter Voogd's books. Depends on what you're into. I mean, if you're really looking for a law of attraction, I recommend the Abraham Hicks series. There's a lot of good books out there for sure, but yeah, I'll piano you some. For real. Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and pull you on against somebody else wants to come on. I can't. What in the French toast? So odd. Can you try sending me an invite, Robert? No? So comment if you've been watching these the whole way through and are actually following the whole book. I'd be interested to know. Again, invite your friends, share this out. I'm gonna be. My goal is to get Peter Voogd on this live within the next, before the book is complete. We are on chapter 5 now. Yeah, I know I got this. I just part of my routine is pull somebody on and talk for a little bit. But Virginia is reading a book called Synchronicity by Christmas Mackey, and it's amazing so far. I'll have to check that out. I have not read that. Ask me questions, guys. What do you want to know about me? This is my second day listening. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Justin said, I've seen only a couple now. I'll try to catch your broadcast while in the hotel. I appreciate that, Justin. Yeah, something wrong with Facebook. There is something wrong with Facebook, and especially me. Like, they've been putting me in jail a lot. I don't get it. Like, I share the love. I spread the love, and I share people's content out to try to, if I resonate with it, I share it out to the groups and everything, and then Facebook says, nope, no more doing that. I'm like, really, guys? Really? Like, why? Why even having a share option if you won't let somebody share? It is what it is, I'm still going to share. They'll keep putting me in jail because I'm still going to support my friends. Chris Mackey, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. So it was actually a wonderful day today here in Nebraska. It was 50 degrees. Brittany wants to know, what was the most influential part of this chapter for you? Any in particular takeaways? Great question. Let me see. The one what really resonated with me was what I read about when at rock bottom, and committing to this journey of personal development. No matter what I have to go through inside, no matter what shit I have to deal with, no matter what shit I have to sit in because of the things that I did to myself by prior wrong thinking and actions and decision making, own that and then be willing to accept and make a change. But when I was at rock bottom, I felt like I had no way out. I realized that most people would have quit, which is the exact reason I didn't. Remember going back to do the opposite, I've spoken in my previous lives of acting opposite of how I would have acted before. Whereas now, and it ties right into this, and doing the opposite of what most everybody else does. I do got a story. I was going to censor a little bit of this because I have respect for my parents, but me and my father, we butt heads. He doesn't understand what I'm doing. He doesn't understand what this book teaches. He likes to think I'm a failure, and he likes to think that all my ideas are just going to continue failing, and that just align. I've heard it since I've heard it since I was a child. If you have 99 people doing this over here, you gotta always be the one that's over there. And I'm like, I always took pride. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's exactly right. And I stood in my truth, and I was proud of that. And I'm 35 years old today, and I still hear it. The same thing when I was 8 years old. You always got to be different, don't you? And I said, damn right I do. And I'm never going to change that. People follow trends. Good night, Eve. Thanks for watching. People follow trends. I just soon create a trend. I am not afraid to stand out. I am not afraid to stand out. I will hold my head high in a group. I'll be the only one wearing a black jacket with everybody else wearing the white tie. Well, I'm not afraid. And I've always been that way, and I'll always be that way. But what I found out is that, I attract those like people to me. And next thing I have a group of us that are not afraid to stand out, that are not afraid to put themselves out there, that are not afraid to share their stories, that are not afraid to admit their wrongs, their faults, and share the journey with others, in hopes that others get inspired to do the same for themselves, and then do that for others and create that ripple. We can't do that by keeping it all into ourselves. Everybody wants to bitch and complain about politics, but what are they truly doing about it? Nothing. They're just bitching and complaining. What does bitching and complaining do? Honestly, it puts you in a negative state of a negative vibration, which is attracting you more negative shit for you to bitch about. So, I want to surround myself with those that find the beauty in life, that find the beauty in things, that find the you know what I'm saying? There's two ways to look at everything. Just like the fear and faith, they're both your imagination. They're both your imagination. Fear and faith are both your imagination. So why choose fear when you can choose faith and create the happy and destiny that you want? You can choose fear and go down the path that doesn't make you, it's not serving to you or others. And, so be different, man. If 99% of people are saying that a rock is soft, be the one that says the rock's hard. I mean, I'm just saying, we need uniqueness in this world. We all have our own, we are all our own people. We're here to create. We are here to better everything around us. I mean, I'm just saying, how do we do that if we're all the same? We can't. If we're all the same, we're all going to be doing the same thing. There's no creation in that. I understand you have to have contrast. But I want to be the creator of my own destiny. And I realize with the law of attraction, it's working whether I believe it is or not. that I'm going to be very careful about what I think, what information I'm going to put in my brain, who I'm going to be talking to, or who I'm going to associate with, because ultimately it's forming the life that I'm living. And I want a life that I can be proud of. And I'm going for my dreams. You know, I have a couple of you watch and I know what I have working on, and I'm going for everything that I ever wanted. And I know people have thought I was crazy, especially around here. People think I'm crazy. People, they don't understand, but you know what, I'm going for it anyway. And they're going to really find out. And it's not about that. It has nothing to do with that. I'm a driven person for all the right reasons. My why is big enough, right? But for all them doubters out there that they get so puffed up that they can tell you, you can't do something, you can't do this, and they just, they're so puffed, and I just look at them, you'll see. There's nothing I need to say in that moment, because nothing I'm going to say is going to matter anyway. Let me just show you, right? And so that just adds more fuel to the fire, and in a good way, Welcome, Marla. It's never too late to be great. Damn right it ain't. Damn right. Sam Walton built Walmart in the 60s, when he's in his 60s. Welcome, Eileen. I really love your content, too, Eileen. How you doing? What other questions you guys have for me, real quick? We got a little more time. We'll try to make these 60 minutes go before 5 minutes left, but I want to thank you guys again for joining me, and this has been great. Please, if you haven't, share this out. I'm going to drop the link to my YouTube. I would ask that you please subscribe that and share that out. This is going to be for the next year. I'm going to be reading chapters out of these books. So we're here to learn together. We're here to grow together. And we can build relationships within these lives too. Feel free to interact with others who are watching. I know that's one thing I do when I go around. I watch a lot of lives. I was asked today, who you watching? I'm like, but I watch a lot of lives. Why do I do that? Because I want to show support to those that are putting themselves out there. They're trying to get their content seen. They're just trying to help other people. I'm there for you. Justin says, I will say this. The first time I saw you reading, I thought to myself, reading publicly like that would take some, let me see if I can read the whole comment. Would take some courage, and I'm pretty confident in my reading abilities. Like, I feel like I'm a decent reader, and I like to I like to I like to really channel what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to channel that energy in how I read it. So I read with energy, and I enjoy reading out loud. Like, I enjoy this. I enjoy reading to you guys. Like, it inspires me at the same time as like, hopefully inspiring others through channeling kind of Peter Voogd, Or Charles Stecker when I read his book next. He writes on child abuse. So that'll be me having 5 kids, and I know many other people have children. It's a pretty common thing, right, to have children. So how do we raise our children? And Charles Stecker speaks out against abuse against children and all that. So it's a little different than, say, your Peter Voogd book, but Charles has been a friend of mine for a while now here on social media, and I love the message, and I think anytime that we can really impact the youth in a positive way, or get the awareness out to positively impact the youth, that serves everybody, and our future's a lot better. So I'm definitely going to be reading that book next. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions for me before I hop off of here? I didn't bring on a guest today, but that's okay. Next time, guys, don't be so shy. Hop on here with me. I want to talk to you. Robert says I'm live on Facebook. If you'd like to drop by, once I get off of here, I'll drop by. I'll swing over. Absolutely, I'll support you. Welcome, Peter Comby. I had Peter on the other night. Great dude there. Eileen says, definitely, we just don't have time for everyone to understand what we are doing, mostly because many don't want to understand. So oh well, that's right, and you know what? I'm going to surround myself with believers, world changers, and people that want to go somewhere, and that want to do something with their lives, that aren't afraid to think big, and that aren't afraid to go for it. Because ultimately, if you don't get it, you're getting a hell of a lot further than if you don't try. You'll learn something a little more. It'll build you. It'll make you a little better person. That's why I love the business. One of the businesses I'm in. It's the right vehicle to try to help other people and pass that on to others, and it's directly centered towards literally building other people, building and developing other people. You can't beat that. You cannot beat that. Elizabeth says, shame on you, Peter. I don't know what that's for, but Chelsea, welcome. I got on late. That's why. Yeah. Good call, Elizabeth. Good call. Again, guys, I'm going to move this time back to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time rather than 9 p.m. Look for that to come this week. It's a little late. I got my East Coast friends that would like to join in, so I'm going to back it up. Hopefully that'll be better for everybody involved. 7 days a week, come hell or high water. If I'm sick, I'll just read the chapter. If I can't literally, you guys don't want to see this guy when he's sick, but I will still get on here and read you a chapter. This train ain't stopping. And keep throwing people on. This will be fun. But that's all for tonight, guys. Chapter 5 in the books. We'll do Chapter 6 tomorrow night. Get excited. And also don't be afraid to grab your pen and papers and take some notes, man. This is good shit. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you again. If you're watching on the replay, feel free to share this out. Share it to your groups. Let me know where you're watching from, and we'll connect. All right. Much love and light, y'all. Peace out. Have a good night.